Hey, Mr. Oliver. Why are you all dressed up? I don't think I've ever seen you wearing anything other than a hoodie.
Hey, I can dress up. I'm here for the quote of the week.
Oh, well, since you look nice.
Don't you think you want a better background than just standing in front of a garage?
Oh, that's a good idea. Thanks.
Hi, Herons. This week's quote of the week comes to us from our nation's 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. Don't believe everything you read on the internet just because there's a picture with a quote next to it. Have a great day, Herons. Something tells me that quote isn't entirely true. Hello everybody and welcome back to another Media Arts video. So from here on out for the rest of the year, we're going to be working on video projects. So we did a lot of great things with photography. Hopefully you had a lot of fun with that and have been able to hand in your beginning photography, your photo albums, and have taken some great portraits. So this week what we're going to do, as you could see from the introduction, is we are going to be working on a quote of the week video. So we are going to use one of two programs. You can either use Photopea, like I introduced in last week's video, or you can use Google Drawings, whatever you're more comfortable with. If you want a higher resolution image, you're going to want to use Photopea, but Google Drawings can work completely fine, especially if your quote just kind of appears on the side of your screen, just like this. See? Okay, so let's jump right into it. And what you're going to do this week is you're going to end up recording some video footage for the quote of the week, as well as make a poster that you're going to use using Google Drawings or Photopea. And then you're going to edit that video using WeVideo, and you're going to use that poster that you created as an overlay, just like I showed right here. Okay, so after you're finished with all that, you are going to export it and upload it to your Google Drive folder. And then as always, you're going to attach it to the assignment and you're going to press turn in. So don't believe everything you read on the internet just because there's a picture with a quote next to it. Thank you, Abraham. He was so wise beyond his years. Excellent, excellent quote. All right, so your task is to create a quote poster that can be used for the quote of the week video, and you are going to find a quote that you think has an inspiring message. Right? The quote of the week is kind of a serious-esque part of the show, so you don't want to just necessarily find something completely goofy. Not saying the quote can't be funny, but find a quote that you find resonates with you, that you think other people should hear and it might inspire them. And then what you're going to do is you are going to use multiple pieces of text, right, PNGs and other design elements in order to make your poster unique. Just like this one that we're looking at here, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy donuts, and that's kind of the same thing. Now, notice that we have a variety of different colors used, right? It's all in the same font. It's all caps, so all the words kind of fit together, but we have a variety of colors and sizes that work nicely with a background and work nicely with a donut. So think about how you can incorporate all of those design elements that we talked about as we looked at graphic design and see how you can make an excellent quote poster that you can use as an overlay in your quote of the week video. So if you are going to be using Photopea, right, then this is going to be how you're going to do it. Now, it can be in any dimensions, but there's some really important things to remember. You have to think about how you want to use this poster. Do you want it to fill the entire screen? If so, you want the dimensions to be 1920 by 1080, right? Now, if you just want it to the side of you, you have options. Generally, you would want to do it in a reverse of that, right? You would want to do it in 1080 by 1920, so then it is going to be just like a vertical picture would look. So, but it can be in any dimensions if you're not filling the entire screen, so really important to remember. Okay, so here are two different examples that I used. Both of these I set to the DPI of 300. Now, if you're using Google Drawings for this, you don't even worry about setting DPI. All you do is figure out, do you want it to be in page setup? You can choose, do I want it to be in this style of dimension, or you can see. I'll show you the screen cutaway as we do that. All right, and then, so here's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi, which is, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." Now, the one on the left side of the screen, you're noticing that one is going to work really nicely if I'm just going to have it appear here as I'm talking about it. But if I want to fill the entire screen, I would want to use something that is the same dimensions as my video. Now, one thing we've talked about before, and I want to just reiterate this point, is that when you're filming video, you want to hold your phone sideways. I know many of you are going to be recording on phones, right? So hold that phone sideways when you record. That'll fill the entire screen. If you're using your Chromebook to record, it's also automatically going to be in that dimensions, so you're good to go. Or if you're using a DSLR or a video camera, it'll generally be set up, just like mine is right now, to be filling the entire screen. So you've got two options for your dimensions. Think about how you want to do that. Do you want to fill the entire screen with a quote, or do you want it on the side? Okay. So if you want to add an image of the author, it's optional. Now, for someone like Gandhi, he's a fairly recognizable person. Sometimes adding the quote, or adding the picture of the person that said the quote, can be really impactful. However, if you don't know what the person looks like that the quote's by, you might not want to use that because we don't necessarily associate. I can't picture what Dr. Jonas Salk looks like, right? He was the scientist that figured out the cure for polio 80 years ago. But his name's recognizable, but his likeness isn't. So maybe you would then want to choose a quote that fits more with the theme of what or you'd want to choose an image that fits more of the theme of what they're saying than to have an image of the person. So if someone's easily recognizable, like Abraham Lincoln or Martin Luther King, then you might want to use their image. But oftentimes you can just use an image of something that's really powerful, like an image of the world instead, so you don't always have to use a picture of the person that said your quote. Keep that in mind. All right, so you can copy styles for your text. This was done in a Google drawing, and there's some drop shadowing on these terms, and they're all in different sizes. Now, I just copy and pasted so that I had B over and over again on my screen, and then change the words, and then could adjust the size after I've done all the formatting too. That way, everything looks identical. It all looks like it goes together, but it can be in different sizes. So there are different ways that you can play around with some shortcuts that'll make your job a whole lot easier, and it'll look pretty interesting. So remember, that's word art is what that is. Okay. All right. So here is an example from a quote of the week that we did on May the 4th of last year. Wow, it's been almost exactly a year. And at any rate, this was done on our Star Wars edition. So there's Mrs. H, your choir teacher there. And she's doing a great yoke by quota, do or do not, there is no try. And because she's framed using the rule of thirds, there's space on the side to put a quote right there. And so that's how that would work. So here's what your assignment is, right? You're going to create a video that introduces your quote, states your quote, shows your quote poster, and all comes together as to one project, right? So you're going to record yourself with clear and stabilized video, so make sure it's in focus, make sure it's not shaking all over the place. I'll show you some tricks for how you can do that. You could use multiple camera angles, although don't worry too much about that. We're going to get into camera angles in our next week's video. So for this week's video, really, you're just going to be doing one medium angle, just like this is, right? Where it's kind of a little bit of space above my head and here, and I'm going to be off to the side if I want to have my quote there, right? I could be centered in the middle if I'm going to be cutting away to cover the entire screen. So just think about how you want to frame yourself and what you want your project to look like before you just end up filming yourself, okay? Yeah, so you're just going to deliver that quote from a medium camera angle, maybe end it with "Have a great day, Herons." I'll show you lots of different examples for how you can figure out how to make an effective quote of the week. Okay, now it's really important to think about your lighting and think about background noises, right? Right now, this shot is perfectly well lit because I'm actually filming with a light in front of me, right? I made sure that there's not a window directly behind me. There's one off to the side, but that's just kind of spilling some light in. So think about how you can make a shot look great. Now, you might not have a studio set up like I have right now, but that doesn't mean you can't still use light to your advantage. So let me show you some examples of how I'm going to be doing some filming for good light and for good sound. Hey everybody, Mr. Oliver here, and I'm recording from my cell phone today just to show you some tips for how, when you record your quote of the week, some things you might want to use. So I'm using a handheld tripod just to hold my camera steady, but I'm keeping it really close to me. I'm going to go over a couple basic things with recording. You can probably hear a lot of birds, maybe some cars in the background. So outdoors is usually great There's my dog at the door. But going indoors, you can get quieter locations if you think about some important things. So let's take a look at some examples. When you're recording video, you don't want to have a window behind you because look how shadowy I am here, versus if I turn this way so that I've got the light from the window shining on me. So think about where your light source is. Also, I'm pretty close to my microphone. I'm not zoomed in. I'm only holding it right here, far away from me. So really try and stay close to your microphone, because if you zoom in from far away, you're going to hear all the other noises. If you're standing far away when you're recording, it's not going to sound very good. But if you're standing close when you're recording, it's probably going to sound fine. Think about background noises when you're recording, because some appliances make a ton of noise. That's better. So always think about being in a quiet place. Your microphone does not know the difference between your voice and other sounds. Hi, Herons. This week's quote comes to us from Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Have a great day, Herons. Hi, Herons. Here's your quote of the week. Be the change you wish to see in the world, by Mahatma Gandhi. So now that you've seen some filming techniques, let's get into some editing. So I'm going to go ahead and open up WeVideo. But while that's opening, why don't you check out this week's secret word? All right, everybody. Whoa, hello, easy now. Can you relax? We haven't even done the secret word yet. The secret word is chicken. You are the secret word. Are you honored? You should be. All right, guys, remember the secret word is chicken. Don't forget it, it's chicken. It is not turkey, it's chicken. All right, enjoy the rest of the video. Secret word is chicken. All right, so here I am in WeVideo. I'm all logged in with my school account, and I'm going to create new video. All right, and I'll just do this in week 1. It doesn't really matter where I do this. Okay, so what I'm gonna need to do is I'm gonna need to take a video, and I'm not even gonna show you the audio for this time because I've already got other video when I see will work just fine. So I'm gonna take this clip that I had recorded before, right? Hey, shockingly, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt. Can you believe it? All right, so here's my video. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another video. I hope you had a great... So just imagine that this is a quote of the week video as I'm going. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to take my the design that I made, and so I have a couple of these. Let me show you what I have. All right, so I could take Be the Change I Wish to See in the World, and I could file, download as a JPEG. It's going to go to my downloads bar if I'm using a Chromebook, to my downloads manager, but you guys should be experts in that by now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to WeVideo and I'm going to hit import, and then I'm going to drag that here so I can get this footage here. If I wanted the overlay to cover my entire face, I could just drag it and put it on the video 2 line, and I would have my little introduction. And then now you can see some of you in a science class. It fills the entire screen, right? That's one way that you could do that. Now you could double click on it, and then when you go into scale, you could make it smaller. But you'll see that even when you're using a smaller video, it's kind of hard to do it widescreen and still fit it that way. It would probably be better to have a vertical orientation. So let's see what I've got here. I'm sure I've got some Photopea designs that would look great. Let's see what I've made. Okay, oh, I've got some silly designs here. Oh, look, here's one that I made. That's a widescreen, so I'm not going to do that one. These are all PSDs. Actually, you know what? I'll show you a project that I made before. This is a project that we do when we're in person, where we do a magazine layout for my advanced photography students. So I've got this in my Google Drive. I'm going to download it. I'm just using this example because it fits nicely as a vertical orientation that I'll use. So I downloaded that, same steps as before. I'm going to go into WeVideo. I'll hit Save Changes on that one. I'm going to hit Import again. I'm going to drag my JPEG in, and now I have it here. And then I could put it here in the video. And then now let's look at how that's going to look. So right away, that is centered on the screen, and I'm going to want to change that. So by double-clicking, I can then just resize it. And notice how a vertical one is going to fit so much better. So let me hit Save Change. All right, so here I have my video, and let's take a look at the two different examples. Right, if you just leave a widescreen image alone, it's going to fill the entire screen as you're talking, which is fine if you want to do that. But if you want that quote to appear next to you, then you could put a vertical orientation and then just adjust the scale so you have it exactly where you want. So just a quick review. I know we've done this before, but let me just remind you again. So I'll shorten this video because I don't need it to be this long. When you're finished with your video, what you're going to do is you're going to hit the Finish button. Makes sense. You're going to give it a title, right? This is my quote of the week, and I'll hit Set. Now, right away, you want it to be exporting as a video, and you want it to be in high definition. That's 1280 by 720. Click the little Drive button, and you can even mark it as public. Okay, all these things are going to just make it easier to make sure that I'll have access, you'll have access, and it'll be easy. So go ahead, do all that, and then hit Export, and let's see what happens. All right, it's going to say your video is queued, and you don't have to keep this window open. We'll send you an email when your video link is ready, but it's only going to be 23 seconds. So get really comfortable with how to use WeVideo. Now, if you want to try doing some titles and do some sound effects, explore with it. Do what you want to do with this. We'll get into all those details later. The bare minimum for this week is you just record yourself saying a quote of the week. Now, like you saw in many of my examples, I started off with, "Hi Herons, I hope you're having a great day, and here is your quote of the week." Try and have some sort of introduction. It's not a very long video, so jumping right into the quote can be a little bit awkward. So, and I'm going to put some of these on Heron TV. It's going to be fantastic. If you don't want your quote to be used on Heron TV, I understand. So just make sure that when you turn it in, you include a comment that says, "Please don't use this on Heron TV." I would love to share out some of your work. I think it's a great way to build community. So I recommend trying it, but I understand if you don't. So it should be ready any second now because it says ready in 00. Come on, here we go. All right, so here it is. Here's my video. And I want to show you where it shows up. So when I go into my Google Drive and I hit Recent, there it is. Quote of the week right there. So go ahead and do that, and then you can turn it in Google Classroom just by hitting Add from Google Drive. Select Recent, choose your file, turn it in, and you're good to go. All right, let's head back to the other shot where we can wrap this up. All right, so there it is. That was this week's video. Hopefully you used your design skills to make a great quote of the week poster. You chose whether you wanted it to fill the entire screen or just fit off to the side. All right, you recorded video footage for the quote of the week. You edited the video with WeVideo and used the quote poster as cutaway or overlay. And then lastly, you exported that video, you uploaded it to your Google Drive, and you attached it to this assignment. So this is our introduction into video assignments with one really basic one. Find a great quote that you like, record yourself kind of like this, and create a quote of the week video. So I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. In the next couple weeks, we're going to get into all sorts of things with video. So next week, we'll get into all the different camera angles, then we'll get into special effects, and we'll learn some really cool tricks. So, but for now, let's just get started with it. Be comfortable working with WeVideo. I can't wait to see what you do. And by the way, if you are in the building, please stop by room 107 or walk past and say hello. Or look for me. I try and be outside when kids are coming in the mornings. So say hello. It's great to see students in person. For those of you still in CDL, stop by office hours sometime. Now, one little change to office hours, just send me an email anytime you want to meet for office hours. I think that's going to be the easiest method. I'm in the building a lot now that kids are back, and so I'm not always tied to my computer for office hours, but I'm still willing to meet with anyone anytime they need help. So I teach classes on Mondays and on Thursday afternoons. So those times while kids are in school, I'm not able to meet for office hours, but many other hours throughout the week I am available, so just let me know. So that's it. And remember, Herons, never stop creating, and I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, that's right. I need to spin. Let me try that one time. now I'm dizzy. I don't know why I did that. See ya!